Hey everybody, welcome back to the Three Spiritual Chicks. This is episode 7. I am T, aka Rose Red.
Hey, I am Jazz, aka Jazz the Medium.
I am Joy, aka A Joyous Connection. Today we have a special guest who happens to be my younger sister, Artika, or as known as Tika. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello,
Tika, you're very
hello.
beautiful. Joy, you
So
just got
we're
a
going to
nice
be,
look.
huh?
I said, y'all just nice. You got a beautiful family. Your
Oh,
other
thank
sister,
you.
you're beautiful.
hmm
Okay.
Okay, so yep. So we'll be doing reading Tika a little bit later. We'll start our episode this week with since Mother's Day just passed. Um, we will start our episode with kind of discussing the first Mother's Day, talking about our moms and things like that. Then we'll read Tika. All right. So who would like to go first?
You got it.
The person that
Oh
introduced
man,
us.
you did.
It's you.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you need introductions. You go first.
That is not what that means, ma'am. So who Mother's Day? Um, well, you said the first holiday without them, right? That's what we talked about.
Let's talk about your mother. How she passed
Well,
away. The
my
first time she
well, right now she's still kicking my ass. Okay, um, that's that's to put it plainly. She's still on my ass and making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Mhm.
So, with my stubborn behind, but that's a conversation for another day. But my mama honestly was the epitome of strength. She was stubborn, very stubborn. But now, a lot of questions I'm able to get answered now, speaking to her in this realm, because she tried a lot of things for me in the physical, which us in healthcare know that's one of the most painful cancers there is to have.
can
And
you
she
say that
kept trying.
again?
She had pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
And I said those in health, those of us in healthcare knows that that's known as one of the most painful cancers there is to have. Um, and I knew something was wrong before she got diagnosed. So this was summer of 2016. I started noticing changes in how she was eating. Um, And then she will always, during this time, I was working night shift. So I was working 7 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. So by the time I was getting home, she was on her way to work. But she will be like, "Oh, I got a doctor's appointment." I'll be like, "Hold up, my doctor's appointment for what?" And she would tell me as I'm like laying down to go to sleep and then run her ass out the door. So I couldn't go with her or try
Mhm.
to like see what's going on. So that went on for a few months, and then she started complaining of abdominal pain. So I'm asking her like different questions, and she's like, "No, I'm okay." And then around Christmas 2016, she actually called me before I was on my way home from work, and she called me and she says, "I'm on my way to the emergency room," and I'm like, why are you going to the emergency room? Like, I'll be home in like 15, 20 minutes. Wait for me so I can see what's going on. She was like, no, I gotta go. But she was complaining of pain, and long story short, that's when we found out that she had pancreatic cancer. So when we found out, um, she was already honestly in like stage 3. Um, she went through treatments. She had what's called a Whipple procedure, which is a major surgery to help try to get rid of the bad area in the pancreas. And she did very well with everything. Even I'm laughing because even you would think, well, everyone's journey is different. So you know, on her days that she had chemo, you would think she would come home and go to sleep. No, it'll be times she'd be out in the yard breaking leaves, burning leaves, or going to the our local area had like a horseshoe tournament that they will always do. So she would go support her team, but she was not one to sit in the house. In other words, you were not going to tell her what she can and cannot do. That wasn't going to happen. So now y'all see where I get that from, right? When I be like, I ain't doing that. Y'all see where I get
Mhm.
that. So, um, so yeah. So long story short, she literally, she stopped working a month before she passed away, which honestly was around Mother's Day of 2018. And she transitioned June 12th of 2018. And she even fought me then because she did not want to take her morphine. So I pretty much told her, like, you're not coming back to haunt me because you're going out in pain. Like, I love you, but I want you to be at peace and no pain. I will honestly say after her transition, um, even the holidays, I didn't want to be bothered. Um, I pretty much wanted to stay to myself. Um, Even now, I still don't put up Christmas decorations and things like that. So I celebrated though, spend it with family, but yeah, it took a while. It took a while. And then my first Mother's Day without her is when she came to me in a dream and she hugged me and I felt it. Like I felt it. Like when they say energy never spirit never dies, she showed me what that meant because it felt like she was still here in the physical.
Mm.
So so she was the stubborn lady that I get all my stuff from and now she's on my ass because she don't want me to be stubborn like she was. But I learned from the best. So yeah, that's what I get for now.
And she is super powerful. And she definitely, me and Tiara be having our readings, and she always coming through. Okay,
She the
every
first
time.
one. First one. And talking trash. She was definitely the trash talker and she still does it to this day. So yeah. I love her
Mhm.
and let her know that I miss her, She lets me know that she's with me. Hence, earlier today in our offline conversation when I saw the black feathers, I know that was her letting me know she's still watching over me and protecting me. So
Mhm.
Mhm. Okay. Y'all want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, mommy, Joyce Ann Baines, is her name. So, she, my mom was diagnosed with, I think stage 4 cancer. I don't know when she was. I think it was 2017. At that point, um, they pretty much told us that she wasn't going to have long. Um, Changed her eating, all that great stuff. Like we were strict on making sure. Well, she was strict herself on making. She didn't want to do chemo. She didn't want to do any of that. But she wanted to just do everything natural. So she changed her eating and things to the Dr. Sebi diet. Um, Fast forward, it seemed like her cancer was in remission. Um, and we get this call. She started having like a 2020 COVID hit. Um, she had a was complaining about her face hurting, and you can physically see like her face changing. Um, and went to the doctors. They said that she had because her teeth didn't seem right, and they was trying to say it was this and this and this and this. Um, so fast forward to I think it was the Thanksgiving, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tika. She came to my sister's house, and never left. So he went to my sister's house and it kind of went downhill from there. um I think I told the story before where I went over to my sister's house, went over there to do her hair, and that's when my grandmother came to me. I still never forget the look that my grandma had when my mama made a comment. It was just like, "Oh, if she's coming, uh Do that mean I'm about to pass soon? And
Mm.
my grandma made a look and she just said, tell her she needs to stop smoking them damn cancer sticks. That's what my grandma said. Whatever. But I got a call from my mom on January 1st and of 2021. And she said to me, Joyous, I just want to talk to you. And she started talking about her decline and things like that. Or not decline. She started talking about her funeral arrangement. Started
Mhm.
saying how she would wish she could have did better as a mother, um, and so on. And Spirit just told me to let her let her talk. Don't interrupt. Normally, I would say, "Mommy, what are you talking about?" Let her talk. I got off that phone call. Um, I got off that phone call and bust out crying. I told my husband, um, my mom's not gonna be here long. Um, Teeca so happened, I think we was talking. I was like, she said, Mommy hasn't been eating. And I was like, Mommy hasn't been eating. What? Mommy hasn't ate. So we all, my mom is not wanting to go to the hospital. She don't want to do none of that. So I was like, okay, well, if she's not eating, she ain't ate in the last couple of days, we need to call the ambulance. Let's take her to the doctor. Took her to the doctor. I think they saw that the cancer had spread to other parts of her body, her face. They took her to her. We took her to the oncologist. I think that's what it's called, right? For cancer.
Mhm.
Okay, took her there, and that doctor pretty much was like, "Your mom has a couple weeks um, before she passed." We took on that journey with my mother. Oh, it was rough. I thank God for my sister Tika because, like I said, everything she went over to Tika's house on Thanksgiving. She took the bulk of handling my mom as she saw the decline. Um, as far as making sure that my mama was taken care of, we didn't want to put her in hospice or anything like that. We just said we're going to do this by ourselves. We're gonna take it on. We're gonna do this by ourselves. Took on shifts to come over and spend time and things with her. And my mom passed the day before she had a stroke. Um, she had a stroke. And then we still didn't call because we knew if we would have called, we called the her nurses that would come in. But we didn't want to take her to the hospital because COVID going on. We wouldn't have been able to be around, my mom. So we still took it on at the house with her. My mom passed, took her last breath on January 26th, the day before her birthday. Her birthday is January 27th. So that's always tell a story that my mama said, look, I ain't about to come up in this next year in some pain and going through all this stuff. I'm about to leave the day before my birthday. Like we had plans and everything of doing stuff. So she left the day before her birthday with all of my sisters around her and some of the grandkids. Um Super hard. My mom, she planned her whole service again. Very strong lady. Um, that was a big toll for me. Um, First Mother's Day, I would say, is I woke up out of my sleep and my mom said, I'm laying there, and my husband said, babe, somebody, was somebody just in our room? I said, what? In our room? No, nobody was just in our room. This like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 something. I'm like, nobody just in our room. I'm looking around. And he's like, somebody just left our room. And then he went back to sleep. And so I was like, okay. I said, I don't know what he talking about. Laid back a little bit and I heard my mom say, Joyous, Joyous, get up. Joyous. And then she called me Al Joyous, though. Nobody called me. She ain't even call me Al Joyous for real. Said, get up. I got up. I saw it was like a white dress walking out of my room at that point. It came to where I'm sitting here, and she had some messages that she wanted me to provide to my sisters. Um, Talked about her passing and some questions that we had, and things like that. So that was the first Mother's Day holiday. I would say would have been my sister's birthday. We went crazy, y'all. I had no, I got this one done. I had so many piercings. That's after my mama passed. I had my eyebrow pierced and this pierced. My sister had I forgot what Teeca had pierced. I think she had this pierced. Y'all, we was going a little bit crazy. But that was like yeah, that was our my first year, my first Mother's Day without her. Hmm.
So I just want to jump in and say real quick. I don't know if y'all saw that I had this coughing fit over here. So I'm gonna have to say, Ma, I apologize, cause she like you said all that. You ain't say my damn name. So my mama's name was Mary Rose.
Very right.
So okay, Ma, I done said your name. Let me breathe. Let me live.
Let her live. Please. Look, I ain't gonna talk junk because she gonna get on my butt.
And Joy's mom
Hey
has come to
Joy,
me too. So
what year did your mother pass away in?
2021. Mhm.
2021.
Mhm.
Okay. My mom, my mom was like a lot like your mom, T. She was very stubborn, strong-minded. She was a strong woman, very, very stubborn. She spoke her mind. She didn't care what nobody thought. She didn't care what nobody said. My mom, she was a smoker for a long time, but she did quit smoking the last 5 years of her life. But the damage was done, so she would get pneumonia a lot. So she'll always go to the hospital. So
mhm,
the last time she went to the hospital, they had to put her in ICU and put her on IV antibiotics for her pneumonia. While she was in the hospital, they did some blood tests, and some of her labs came back abnormal. So when they tested, they said something was wrong with the shape of her red blood cells. So when they did the test, she ended up discharging. And since I was a manager over a skilled rehab unit, I had her come to my job so that we can do therapy so she can go home. When she first came, I knew because I'm able to see auras, and her aura was really murky. She wasn't her same vibrant self. And then I think a few days after she came, she had tried to get out of bed by herself, and she sat on the floor, and somehow like she broke her shoulder. Her shoulder just broke. It was just
mhm,
weird. So they had to call like
Mhm.
my mom was a bigger woman. They had to call the fire department to get her off the floor. So finally, I took her. The my medical director, shout out to him. He pulled me to the side and he was like, Jasmine, before you take your mom to the oncologist, I want to talk to you about her results. And he read them, and he basically just told me before, he said this is not good. He said she has a very treatable cancer. He said, but because of all of her comorbidities, it's going to be very hard to find a doctor that's going to want to do chemo. So I already knew, but I didn't tell her.
mhm,
So we go to the oncologist and he tells her. And I remember her looking at me and she just bust out crying. She was just like, Jasmine, what am I supposed to do? Like I was a mother and she was a child. Like, what do I do? And I asked the doctor what options there were, and we had very few options. He said, well, this cancer is very curable, but I'm gonna have to like admit you for 2 weeks and slam you with chemo. And he said, it's gonna kill you. He said, it's more like, he said, so I can do like a slow chemo to prolong your life a little bit longer, probably buy you about 6 or 7 months. But this cancer, it grows really, really fast. So that's not really gonna work. He said, or you can go hospice. So she looked at me and asked me what I thought. And I told her, I said, look, I said, you can either go through chemo, the type of chemo he's talking about, which he said most people, it makes you extremely sick. You can spend the last 6 to 8 months of your life sick, or you can come home and we hospice and we take care of you and you be comfortable. And also she was immobile at that time. So there was a lot we had to consider, like how are we gonna get her there? How are we gonna get her out the house and into the car in there? Because by this time she had a lot of trouble walking. So she decided to come home with me hospice. They told her she had 30 days to live, but she managed to drive me nuts for about 4 months. You go through those stages of grief, and I was her target. She was angry with me. She hated me for a few times, but I think when she got into the last few weeks, she even told me I wasn't shit a few times. But when she got into her last few weeks, she kind of made peace with me. She apologized. I can't tell you, my mom probably within that 4 months, she lost over 100 pounds.
Mhm.
And it was funny because she would call my brothers and I and tell them I wasn't feeding her, and they would cuss me out and try to fight me. I'm like, look, she's not eating. You know, you'll buy her food and she'll take a bite or two and she'll be like, put this in the refrigerator. And I'll throw them away. So to prove that to my brothers, what I did was for a whole 2 weeks, I saved everything she told me to put in the fridge. And I told my older brother, because he came over, him and his wife was about ready to tear my butt up. I said, go look in that refrigerator. They went to look in the refrigerator. It was everything they bought her the last 2 weeks. I said, she's not eating. She's not eating. Not the way I feel. She's not eating. So the day she died, the day before she died, she was sick. She had a cough. We thought she had pneumonia. So I was gonna cancel my trip. I had a spiritual retreat I was gonna go on. I was gonna cancel, and she was like, "Please go. You need a break." Later on, I found out that my brother was very upset with me for going, but she told him that she sent me away because she knew I was tired. But she told me, like, if you don't go, then I'm not gonna talk to you again because you need to go. I'm gonna be mad at you. So I said, you know what? I'll go. I told her I would call her nurse and get her some antibiotics. Call her hospice nurse. Shout out to Jason if you out there. He was a great nurse. So I get there. On the way there, I fell asleep in the car and I had a dream. She came to see me and she was like, because I made her promise before I left. I said, promise me you're gonna be here when I get back. I said, no, don't you go dying. Don't you go cutting your ass. That's exactly how I said it. She said, girl, get on up out of here. I'm gonna be. I love you. I'll be here when you come back. So on the way down to Tennessee, we went to Gatlinburg. She came to me in my dream and she said, I ain't gonna be here when you get back. I'm laying that right down. I've been waiting for you to leave. Because I want her to die at home with all of us surrounding her. But she would tell my kids, like, I don't want to die like that. I don't want y'all seeing me like that.
Mhm.
She will fight. She will fight with it. But I was determined to die the way I wanted her to die. I guess I had her messed up. So when we got down there, I talked to her that night. Next morning, I called her nurse and said, hey, can you go over there? I think she needs antibiotics. She's got this terrible cough. She's got this productive phlegm. She might need, like some antibiotics. So he said, okay. He went over there. He called me. He was like, yeah, I'm going to get on some antibiotics. Her lungs definitely sound a mess. I was like, okay. It wasn't even 10 minutes later, he called me. He said, Jazz, I cannot get one oxygen machine in your house to work. Now, if I were there, I am the queen of fixing things. I've been in healthcare for so many years. I'd have fixed one of them concentrators or one of them tanks. He said, Jasmine, I can't get a tank to work, a concentrator to work. I called the oxygen company. They talking about this afternoon. My mom was very oxygen dependent. She was on like 4 or 5 liters. So he was, I'm going to take her to our hospice wing for respite till you come home. So I was like, all right, cool. So I remember talking to her. She was like, I ain't got no pants on. I was like, all right. She was like, you think a doctor gonna like me with this big old diaper on? I was like, yep. My mama, she always had a big booty. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna pull me a doctor, joking, walking out the door. This was 8 o'clock, about maybe 8:39. By noon, she was unresponsive. At about maybe 2 o'clock, I called my best friend was there with her. Shout out to Tish. Tish went to see her. And Tish put her, I said, can you put her on the phone? Tish said, okay. And she's like, well, she's not talking. Just she's not saying anything at all. I said, well, let me talk to her anyway. So when Tish put the phone in her ear, I was like, mommy. She was like, what? She sounded like that little gurgly voice. I said, do you know who this is? She was like, my baby. And I said, I love you so much. She said, I love you too. And I said, goodbye. She said, goodbye. So I got off the phone. We had our class. While we was sitting in class, I seen her. She was standing next to my teacher. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I got her, ran in the bathroom and washed my face with water real quick and came back and sat down. And she sat there next to him the whole class. And I was like, and I was dumb because if I was a medium and somebody else would have told me that, I would have said, hey, you might want to call. It might be on. But I wasn't thinking that because she promised me she was going to be there when I got back. That was my thinking. So then after the class, I had about 30 missed calls. I called back and they told me that at 5:22, that's when I seen her because I remember looking at the clock. I took her last breath. And she had my best friend Tish by her side and my other friend Shalonda. They were holding her hand. She took her last breath. That's how she passed away. Now, at first when we mentioned it, I didn't remember my first Mother's Day. I suppressed a lot that year. That year is like gone to me because I had ended a relationship. My mom died. I lost my house. I lost my car, and my job terminated my position. So that year is just like it's hard to talk about that year.
Mhm.
I do a lot of therapy just to talk about this now. But Mother's Day, we had a big dinner. I'll never forget. It was my well, I almost forgot, but it was my dad. It was all my kids. My kid's dad. Shout out to him because even though we were broke up, he still stayed around and supported me through all of this. Um, we just weren't together. We were just friends. We all had a big dinner. Um, I had a lot of guilt because I wasn't there with her. So my first encounter with her was actually a dream. And for some reason, we were in this Roman Coliseum. It was weird. And it was all black and white. And she was laying in my lap and she was like resting and her heart was beating. And I held her hand and she placed my hand over her heart, but I could still see her heart through my hand and through her body. It was red and it was beeping. Like it was beating. And then slowly it started to slow down until it stopped. And I was holding her in my arms and then I woke up. So I think she did that to like give me peace.
Mhm.
And then after that, she would pop, she always kind of pops in and out of my dreams, or I can always smell her. You know, your mom has a distinct smell. So if I'm laying in bed, I'm really missing her. I can feel her like the side of my bed, an indent. And I remember when I was a little girl, she used to always come sit at the side of my bed a lot and talk to me. So the side of my bed, an indent. Sometimes I might feel something touching my shoulder, or I'll dream about her, and she'll talk to me through my mind, not really out her mouth, or I'll dream about her. So if I really be like I'm really, really, really missing her right now, I'll probably have a dream about her. Matter of fact, I had a dream about her the other day. Somebody's pregnant. I'm trying to tell y'all, somebody's pregnant. Um, remember, I think I told you guys about the dream where I had the baby and she took my baby and she ran. That was last month. Every time I've ever had a dream that I had a baby, my daughter was pregnant. This time I had a dream that I was driving around looking for somebody and I had this little baby in the car in the backseat, little light skinned baby. And my mom came up to the car. She was riding a BMX bike. I don't know how, but she got in the car with me and we was just riding around and then I woke up. But I think I probably got a grandbaby coming because I can't have any more children. But that's my encounter with my mom.
What was your mom's name?
Her name was Willie Mae. Willie Mae.
All the mamas.
And I didn't realize all of us took care of them. Took care of them too, because I brought my mama home. I didn't put her in a. We didn't put her in a hospice. We actually brought her home and had the nurses come to the house.
Mhm.
Yeah, but she still passed away in a way. She wanted to though, and I was so mad. 'Cause we all should be there to see her take her last breath, but she kept telling me like, "It's not happening like that."
Yeah, my mama didn't want it like that either. It was me and my
That's
aunt
not happening that
when it
way.
was her time. She didn't
Nah.
want everybody there. So yeah,
Mm.
they still had their pride. I will
She
say
Yeah.
that
does.
for sure.
She
Jazz
still does.
definitely,
In there.
Jazz definitely told me that with one of our sessions. I mean, our first section actually. She was like, "Your mama really didn't want everybody to see her like that, even though everybody."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm sorry, mama."
You know what? I've
Yeah.
been a nurse a long time, and the family will sit there, and sit there. And I'm telling you, the family will take like a 2 minute break, and they'll go that fast.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want you to see them die. You'll be surprised.
Mhm.
Like I remember I had this lady. She has so much family. I mean, for 3 weeks, this lady was actively dying for like 3 weeks. I'm telling you, she just would not go. Her son was like, my vacation's running out, man. I'm running out of time. She was like, I just want to be here. And I'll never forget. They was like, we're just gonna run down the street to take a lunch, to eat lunch. The whole family went together down to Bob Evans or something to ate lunch. It wasn't even 5 minutes. They walked out the door. That lady was gone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They had somebody on guard 24/7. It wasn't even 5 minutes. I think they left at like 6:30. That lady was gone at 6:33.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And I've seen the opposite. I used to work med surg oncology, and this lady, they were for their culture, they were doing the rituals that they do before they pass away. Man,
Mm.
she put her hand up and she said, "Everybody get out." They were upset, but she was like, "It's not my time yet. Get out." She made them all like when I say it was like 20, 30 deep in that room. She was like, "Mm-mm, everybody go home. It ain't my time yet." And she meant it because she was with us for about another 6 weeks. She was like, "Yeah, it ain't time for all that yet. Get out." So they
Mm.
know. They definitely know, and they
Mm.
know.
Something interesting for both of y'all that you mentioned. Number one is that my mom knew when it got close to time. That's when she was comfortable because at first she would not let me make no type of arrangements or nothing. She kind of knew, and I think she made peace with me probably about a week before she went. She knew it was time, and she just kind of prepared me like I'm about to go. Another thing is Joy, you said your grandmother came to you. My grandmother came to me in 2016, and I heard her voice. I didn't even know back then. I didn't know what a medium was.
Mhm.
It was 2016. I didn't find out what a medium was until after I stepped on my spiritual path. But it was 2016. I was walking through my living room, and she said, "Jasmine," she said, "I'm coming to get your mom." She said she ain't got
Mm,
long left. And I later found out that all my family, right before we have a death, somebody sees my grandmother. She comes. So
Mm.
it's always a family member that's kind of like that bridge, kind of help people over.
mm,
Mm.
mm.
Mhm.
Well, I
Mm.
had an idea because of who my mama started speaking of. Like she called me my father's name. Um, so
Well,
I
you look
kind
good, logo.
I do. So when she called me my father's name, I was like, okay, And then she started saying, "I'm ready to go home," and I was like, "Ma, you are home?" And she was like, "No, I'm going home up on the hill," and that's where my great grandparents lived at. So
Hmm.
I'm
My
sure
mother
that's.
would say she missed a train, and I remember like she would the first 3 nights up until she died, she would wake up crying. I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I missed the train." I'd be like, "Who was on the train?" She'd be like, "My mom, my brother, my father, my grandparents.
Mm.
They're all on the train. I missed the train. My sister Beverly's on that train. I missed the train." She'd be upset. And
Mm,
I remember like maybe it's like 4 nights before but maybe 2 nights before she died, she told me she made the train and they were at a party and they were waving her over.
mm.
And before she got to the
Mm.
train, to over to the other side of the party, she woke up.
There she was
Mm.
definitely preparing you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. I didn't have that. I could say the one thing that my mom did that was special the day before she passed. Um, is she had been in these like night clothes for a minute. She wouldn't let nobody change her clothes. We had to bring in like the hospice people to do a catheter because she wasn't able to use the bathroom and she didn't want to use no bathroom. And my mama was prideful. She was like, "I have not used the bathroom in no pamper." So we want the catheter in, but she let me change her clothes and prepare her the night before, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I was cleaning that room, cleaning the room and everything. Had my little gospel music going surrounding her, and that's all little hands going up. But, I was like, ooh. So I think that's something special that she allowed me to do. I think I needed that just for just for me at the space that I was at. 'Cause, yeah. Yeah, we actually had a sleepover with all the grandkids, my sisters and my kids, Tika's kids, all the other kids they older, all the other grandkids they a little bit older. But we had a sleepover at Tika's house the night before she passed. And so, yeah, and it's crazy, y'all. My sister, she's in healthcare too. I mean, that's what she does. Well, kind of do now, but that's what she has her degrees and things now. Artica.
Oh, she's still there. She ready? Hey, girl.
Hello. Did y'all ask me a question?
I just said
You
you
said
in
already.
healthcare too. You
Oh,
have a
okay, okay.
healthcare
Sorry, my bad.
background.
I'll go back on mute.
So, are you ready? Did you want to add anything before we?
No, unless you want me to.
Is there any specific subject you would like us to look at for your reading?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I got you posting. Give me a second, son. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, y'all. Mommy duties are calling, and I'm trying to get stuff together.
You froze for 2.5 seconds or a couple seconds. 10.
Pretty much feel confident in, but yes, Micah. Where's the flashlight? Give me a second, please. Give me a second. Um, and whatever else I feel like you all think that I should be reminded of or know about or whatever. And I apologize that I'm not in like a settled place where it's just my energy. But yeah.
No, you fine.
If you said something, Tika, before that you just said that we couldn't hear it, that you had went out.
I don't remember. As far what part didn't you hear? Like what part did you hear so I can tell you what I said?
Like exactly what you wanted a reading on that part, and then you said and whatever else. You said something specifically before that.
I guess if there's any guidance that I need in any area, just want to make sure that like career interest path. I mean, I feel like I'm at a happy place, but I just want to make sure that I'm not, dragging my feet where I need to be putting action towards certain things. Um, or is it a time that I just need to be still and be okay with like chilling, you know? And any other insight that's just coming through, I guess.
Okay.
If it's okay, I'm gonna put it on mute because I gotta get their dinner plates together. But I'm listening.
All right. Career.
So my understanding. Okay, I was gonna say career. Correct. That's where we at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going first.
Mhm.
Jay's sitting there like I'm not going right now. All right. Mm. Okay, Tika. So what I'm getting for you right now is they're telling you to focus within, focus on your inner strengths, focus on security. You're stagnant. You're at a crossroads right now, is what I'm getting. You're trying to figure out which direction that you want to go. And the main reason why I'm seeing that is because I see that you have some spiritual gifts as well. And the outcome that I'm seeing is I'm seeing they want you to take that path, and what it is you feel more comfortable and called to do with this. So trust yourself. Pretty much staying ten toes down. And I'm sure, and I'm getting that you already got an idea what you want to do and stepping into your spirituality, but you're having like a fight with yourself. And one thing I will say, as someone who has been running from this journey for forever, um, when it comes down to it, you got to do what's best for you and your family and not worry about what others may think or the opinions of others. But I do see you walking into your spiritual journeys. So that's what I have. Who's next?
Tika, I have a
I'm
question
here.
for I have a question for clarity. What career field you
Oh,
in?
sorry.
What career field you in right now?
Think what career field are you in right now?
All right, now I can sit down. Give me a second. So sorry. Um, well, not really one. Just trying to work on building my business. Entrepreneurship is what I've been focusing on for a long time now, but I feel like I haven't had the financial resources to do so. And so now I feel like that the tables have turned for that to where I do have some money coming in that I just want to make sure I put it in um the right lane. So I'm working from home as well. I'm working in home care, but I only have one client because I'm balancing um being a mom and getting my PhD. And so yeah. So an actual job I don't work, I don't have.
So I think the key for you is balance. It's kind of balancing like your what you do want to do in your home life, kind of balancing them out. I do feel like I understand that you said that you're trying to work your own business, you kind of work from home, you do a little home care, but the cards fall out like you might be a little conflicted. Like, how can I word it? Like they fall as if you kind of unsure, like you know what you want to do,
It
but you're
broke
not
out
100%.
after.
I broke out after. So basically, it falls down to balance. I'll just start over.
I
It falls out.
understand.
Yeah, balance, like you're trying to balance like your work life and your home life, because your home life with your children is very important to you. I see this lady right here with her mother, and like having a regular work schedule or business schedule can be demanding, so you're trying to find that perfect balance. What I do see as far as business as is that the I know you say you want your own business and you do a little home care, you want to do some things, but the cards fall out conflicted, which means it just tells me that you're not really 100% set in stone. And okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. Prime example, like when I knew I wanted to be a nurse, I was going to be a nurse. That's what I had my mindset on. When I stepped into spirituality and I knew I had this gift and I wanted to do this, I stepped into that. I just feel like you still kind of like weigh what you really want to do. You haven't completely made up your mind. And I feel that once there's two things. Once you make up your mind completely, like, okay, this is what I want to do, and you put your mind and your energy and your thoughts, because your mind is powerful, into it, then you can manifest it. Another thing is you have to believe that you have the strength to do it, because somewhere in here it feels like I feel like you might have feelings like this is just too much. I don't know if I can accomplish all of this. I don't know if I can do this. There's some type of doubt somewhere within your subconscious or your psyche or your mind, or maybe an inner voice telling you like, nah, you can't do that. You got too much. I got too much on my plate. I got these kids I gotta take care of. I gotta cook. I gotta clean. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta run this household. Then I gotta figure out a way to bring income in. And then I gotta work on this business that I really want to start. But I gotta have money for this business I really want to start. So I gotta figure this out. Then I gotta go over there. And then when one thing happened, then another thing happened. Then something go wrong with the car. So you gotta come up with money to get the car taken. It's just always something. So you never really truly have the peace to sit down and say, this is my baby. This is what I work on, and this is what I'm trying to get. So what I'm telling you is that the first law, the first universal law, is the law of mentalism, and that is the mind is all is of the mind. You know that saying you hear it in school all the time. You can do it if you put your mind to it. That saying is so true. If you really believe within your mind that you can do something, I promise you, you'll manifest it. What I'll suggest for you is two things: a journal. Start writing down and journaling what you really want. And also, I would suggest a vision board. Like, You know, you can either buy you like a book they make books now. You see them on TikTok that are made for vision boards. You can cut out your little stuff and stick it to it, or you can find little magazines and clippings or take pictures of things that you want. Put them on your vision board every night before you go to bed. Just look at it. Just look at it for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and imagine yourself actually there. What type of business you want to start?
So I guess you're right with the conflicting part, because on one end I want to do government contracting to bring in income so I can go into real estate is what I really want to do, as far as like buying homes and properties. Um yeah.
And you can, and you will. So if that's what you want to do, imagine your mind is so powerful. Imagine yourself doing it. Imagine what your checks are going to look like from your government contracts. Imagine you putting your down payment or your money on your first piece of property, or taking your first property and doing whatever you want to do with it, you know, or you do home care, or imagine you having your own independent living homes. I don't know why that came to my mind, but independent living homes or anything like that. Imagine you running stuff like that and the government paying you to house people. You know, just imagine all of the things that you can do in your mind and keep on working towards it and take things a step at a time. But I feel confidently if you take it a step at a time and you take care of stuff little by little every day, you'll get there. It may not move as fast as you want it to move, but my last card was the 9 of cups, which tells me that's success. So you are on the right path.
Okay. I love to hear that.
I don't even know what I need to add. Jazz just said everything. But yeah, it's a mindset change, focusing is what I have. Um and then when you focus in to get that mental clarity, what I see is everything that you want to do or want to accomplish is going to come, but it just has to be focused in on. Once that's done, then I see straight abundance there, but you have to be able to settle down to exactly what it is that you want to do.
Okay.
Hmm.
And I have another tip as well. If you one thing you can do also, you can make a virtual vision board. Just like you got so many things you can pick like a collage of pictures and make it your screenshot on your phone. Because think
Okay.
about how many times a day you look at your cell phone. You can make that your screen, screensaver. So every time you look at your phone, you can see everything that you want and visualize yourself doing it as well.
Okay. Thank you.
That is like a great idea. I never even thought to do that. See, that is a great idea. Because you know where your thoughts go, your energy goes. Whatever you're
And think
thinking about,
about it, we look at our phones so many times a day. So that's one of the
yeah.
easiest ways to make a vision board. Make a
Mhm.
collage of pictures and make it your screensaver.
Yep, I have mine on my phone.
That's
You say
neat.
you did?
Yeah, mine is on my phone
Okay.
screen.
Julie, you have to send me a picture. Can I see what yours look like? Can you send me a picture of it?
Y'all,
Thank you.
Right
And I
now, I
think
got a
it's
saying that helped me walk in this spiritual journey. So I'll say what mine says later. But yeah,
and I think it's a beautiful thing, because I just got this tattoo. Let me see if y'all can see it the right way. Y'all see what they say?
I can't see it. What is that?
It's tiny. It's like balance. So, but it's in the mirror
Oh,
reflection, so that when I, go past, so I'm standing in the mirror getting ready for work or whatnot. Well, for my client, I have to remind myself just to balance, because it is home life, and it's trillionaire mindset that I have, that I want to accomplish so much, but I just sometimes I do feel like I can't do both. It's either or, and so thank you for confirming that that's what I need to be reminded of.
and in the
Yeah,
words of Jazz's best friend Tish, say everything is working out for me
every day.
every
You know,
day.
I put myself through nursing school full time by myself with 3 kids.
Okay.
The first time and the second time. You can.
You've got this.
And I ran a business. And you talking about working 24/7. It was hard. it was tiring. I lost some nights of sleep, but it paid off. You can do it.
Mm.
Mm. Thank you. No.
Mommy, the moon was a circle or what?
Sounds so cute.
Like, I mean, all right. Well,
You want to
maybe
know if the
we'll.
moon, if the moon is a planet? You want to say hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Why the two of
Get out. I love you. Get out. Remove yourself.
us?
All right. Any other
You have any
questions?
other questions? Jinx, get out my head, Joy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I definitely do. What's up with this? I got this twitching in my eye. I don't know if y'all diagnose, but it's some type of spiritual indicator. I don't know, but I guess health wise, I want to make sure I'm straight that way.
I'm gonna direct that to Jazz.
Mm-mm. Intuitively, what do y'all think? I'm the tickle. Oh, intuitively. Tried
What
to
she
try
say?
me. Tried it.
I did try it. I mean, we just had a whole offline conversation yesterday.
I'm having a conversation. I need you to go ahead and go in the other room,
Why
please.
do y'all think her eyes twitching? Which
Can you
eye
hold
is
on
it?
my phone?
This one. But surprisingly, today this one started for some reason, just like within the last hour and a half.
So if it's you said the first one you pointed at, is that your right eye?
It's my right eye. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm
Mike, I
looking at
need
your
you to listen the first time.
here. What the hell?
So one thing I'm gonna ask, when's the last time you had your blood pressure checked?
Mm. It's been a minute. Probably back in February sometime.
Do you remember what it was?
It's always low. Like, like 117 over 80, 70.
Okay, so that's normal. I wouldn't consider that low. Okay. Um, One thing I would say is, remember how we talked about you need a balance and the law of mentalism. Do you meditate?
Not recently. I usually do, but I haven't been lately. No.
Um, I think your mind is going 1,000 miles per minute. Try to stay in the moment. Um, like when I say stay in the moment, be in the moment. Like right now, like all of us here having a conversation. Stay
Mm,
right here. Don't try to think about what you gotta do tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Cause you bring in extra anxiety and stress that it's okay. You're going to figure everything out. Like kind of slow everything down.
okay.
That would be my suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
Who got
You got
next?
joy, joy, joy,
Yeah.
joy.
Um. Dang. Dang it. Tiara, why you in my head? Gosh. Shoot. Um. I was gonna pretty much say this, not same thing, but what I feel is that there is yeah, anxiety. I don't know what's maybe causing anxiety. Maybe because the thoughts is overthinking. Um, I don't want to know what I don't know why I want to lead to control. It's like you're trying to control whatever the thoughts or whatever's going on. You're trying to control, but it's like controlling everything else. It's causing, I don't even know if that makes sense, but that's just what I feel intuitively. Is that the anxiety is coming from a sense of things not being in the control that you want to have. Um, which may be acting out physically within your body. Yeah. Mhm.
Because I definitely cannot control it. I be trying. Yeah.
I say
Okay.
stress, your
Mm.
response to stressors. And even I think sometimes we become so used to being in stress that we don't realize we stress because it kind of becomes our comfort zone. And your eye twitching is your body's way of saying, hey, this is too much.
Mm.
So, how do you recenter yourself? And even if you're not a person that meditates a lot, just laying in quiet for about 5 minutes. I see you got a little one, and I know when I had little ones that size, it was hard to get 5 minutes. But if you could get 5 minutes, my car became a solstice. I would sit in my car a little bit longer before I got out and went in the house. If my kids weren't with me, but I think what I'm hearing is you need a moment, because even when you're not around anybody and you're by yourself, you feel like there's something that you need to do, or you got to
Mm.
be doing, like you got to do something, or you feel like, and that may come from feeling like you're not enough. And a lot of those thoughts and things that we feel, they come from childhood, or they can come from like old terrible relationships where a man or a woman made you feel like you wasn't enough. So you always got this constant thought, like, okay, if I sit down and rest, if I ease my mind, if I clear my thoughts, it's something I'm not doing, so I failed. I'm not
Mm.
studying. I'm not working on my business. I'm not tending to the kids. I'm not paying them no attention. I failed. But essentially, you need that time to recharge. So I think you need to recharge. So your wire, it's like wiring. Wiring's kind of skipping a little bit. So find time every day. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, to just clear your thoughts. If you can't set boundaries with your children, hey, mommy need time, leave mommy alone for 20 minutes, leave mommy alone for 10 minutes, close your door. Heck, go in the bathroom and pretend like you're taking a poop and sit there, or sit in your car for a moment. I used to cry in my car, honestly. I'm probably gonna cry in my car when we get out when we get off of here. But just take a moment to recenter. You need a moment. That's why you're asked 15.
Okay.
Do you like
And
dancing, Teeca? Oh, I'm sorry.
also with Tiara said, you might have some budding spiritual gifts, but I just don't think that that's something that we need to discuss right now. I don't know if it's something that I don't feel or know if you get ready to step into them all the way right now. And I don't even know if now's the time to pull them out because you're under a lot of stress.
Mm.
But you do have some budding gifts. I think your family's gifted,
Mm.
Joy. So
Thank you.
Okay. Who was that? I didn't lock the door.
And Pierre, you was about to say something?
I was another thing I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you if you like dancing. Because another way of, just getting some time for you is just turn on some music and dance to one of your favorite songs.
Get back to that childhood, that
Hmm.
carefree spirit, and you didn't let things weigh you down. So get back to that.
Yeah. I do love dancing. That used to be like my form of like meditation. I haven't been doing it,
So there you go.
and that is on my vision board. I do have a vision board, and I got the girl. She's like all kinds of movements from the floor up and jumping up and down. Um, and so yeah, I'll get back to that.
What's one of your favorite songs you like dancing to?
Um, by Pastor Mike Jr. Um, what I be jamming out in the choir to lately? Oh, I love love. I'm just bad at it. Can't replace all these bad habits. Bad habit by Usher.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
See, just right there, your face just lit up. That's why I asked you that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, your light, you just lit up. So that song, that one song, just dance to that every day. Or even when you get up in the morning before you wake the kids up, that could be a time of your me time. Dance to the song.
Give me a second, Micah. Okay. Give me a second, child of God. Exit the premises. Go that way. Well, I'm also sending you a hug. I understand that you need moments of crying because some crying is definitely something that's necessary. Um, Even in happy times, shit. So I'm
Hmm.
sending you like a virtual hug. I'm hugging you, and I hope you get it. I hope you get it for sure. Micah, can you get out?
Micah said it's been too long. You've been talking to us for too long. Too
The
much time.
disrespect.
Micah is the superstar.
Right. Micah said, it's my time now. You had
Micah
your
is
time, it's
the
mine.
He's Micah, aka the podcast crasher. He's up in here. He on the show too. It should have been Teeca and Micah. Let Micah come on.
I ain't even been back here that long. Yeah, but it's fine. Welcome to my life.
It's all good. Do you have any other questions?
I think that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I thank y'all for tapping in to let me know.
No problem. And for the record, y'all, Tika can sing too.
Oh,
So I
okay.
as
Yeah,
soon as
we do a little something, something.
you know,
Okay,
These little
so
bit.
Jazz, that means next time we're going to get a duet. You heard that, right?
next time we're gonna get into it, Teeca looking like no.
Now you see Joy trying to cover her face.
Oh,
I am down. Listen, I am down.
Oh, yeah, you got out of it with the hubby, man.
And now we bringing him back on. So Teeca, you be prepared to come back on. We're gonna have a whole show dedicated to y'all singing.
Yep.
I don't want that type of dedication. No. No. Thank you though. Hallelujah. But yeah.
all
Well,
right.
this concludes episode 7. And I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thanks to everyone that has been tuning in. I just want to leave this episode with a reminder not to forget to do things for you, to put you first, to love you first. What do I usually say? Say, I love you 11 times in the mirror in the morning, and I love you in the mirror 11 times before you go to bed. And before you make any decisions about anything or anyone, I want you to ask yourself, is that an act of love? Does that serve me? All right, now.
All right.
All right.
All
See
right.
y'all
See
next
you.
time.
See y'all
Thank
next time.
you.
Thank you, Tika.